Byron Unfiltered, episode 241. Marcus in the background running, kinda, somewhere. And flow state versus constriction. I thought about this all day and was trying to just elaborate it into words and simplify. For me, my personal experience today was I found that I don't know, it's like priming a well or an engine or something. It's like to get into flow state, you just got to start going. And I call myself a rambler because once I start going, I just keep going and going and going. And I don't know. I was today looking at all the different aspects towards like staying in flow state or being in constriction, constriction. And I actually find myself there a lot, and it sucks. And just from even talking about it, I noticed that I was popping out of it, like consistently I was popping, like my bubble of consciousness kept going like out further and further as I like just addressed some barking dogs as I addressed just scared Marcus is gonna get bit, so just taking a peek here. Yeah, I mean, as I like just released and like spoke my mind and spoke the things that came to me, I just progressively got lighter, and it was really nice. Hi, Marcus. Hi, buddy. What are you doing? Were you chasing a big dog? What were you doing? Marcus, we're talking about constriction, restriction, and flow state and the difference. And no eating. Hey, you don't want to eat that grass. It's not as bad as Surrey grass, but it's still, you don't know where that's been. Okay, buddy? So we're talking about constriction, restriction, and being in flow state. Right now, I think you're in flow state because you're just going. You're looking at other dogs. You're looking at balls flying around. You're running away from me. And we could learn a lot from dogs. Anyway, I don't know, there's such a power in addressing stuff head on and just going with it and just being open and being like, hey, well, I don't know, and this is where I'm at. And I think one thing I noticed when I had some Christian friends at one point in time, and super awesome people, and I really like aligned with like positive intentions and integrity and all that. But one thing I noticed was like the power of prayer, which they attributed to whatever names they had for their God or their whatever story or invisible waffle in the sky or whatever. And to me, I'm just like, there's a power in the ask. There's a power in addressing things. There's a power in just being like, hey, this is where I'm at, and this is what I'm asking for help with. And whether you speak it out loud to yourself, to the waffle in the sky, or to whatever, there's such a power in that. And that's literally manifestation. So I just think it's funny, tangent, that some people could like state their manifestation to a waffle and like it comes true and they're like, wow, the waffle did it. What if it's just like the power of recognizing where you're at and just like coming from the heart and being like, hey, this is what I want. This is what's important to me. This is what I'm seeking. This is what I'm asking for answers on. Like, how powerful is the ask? Total ramble. I'm rambling again, but I rambled all day today. So it is what it is. But yeah, to me, it's so funny because like the answers to any question that we're after, if it's like work related, life related, anything, it's like we can, like, for my personality type, I can go to my logical mind and just go and go and go. But like, I don't know, through my process today of like just acknowledging and speaking out loud and like basically manually putting myself into flow state by just like speaking my truth and not backing away, like, I don't know, such a power to it, and ended up in such a nice place of feeling more clear. And I'm like, if I just was in this place all the time, then all the things that I was like not feeling clear on or like having issues with are such little issues in comparison from being in a clear space. So I was thinking about that in like team building, and yeah, even just the top people that I spend time with in my life, like just really reassessing and being like, hey, I want like high level, positive, like people who will call me forward and people who I will call forward in my life. More so than they are. I have great people in my life, but like, I don't know, I strive for a lot behind the scenes, and I would love to connect with people who are like on that same striving level. Locally, I've met a lot like in Australia and all over the place, but like here in Vancouver, I would love to meet more people who are just like facing their shit and willing to like call me forward and offer perspectives that I'm not seeing, and just like for the highest good of all and a win-win-win situation. So that's what I wish for. So speaking of the power of praying to a waffle, or the power of prayer, or the power of just simply acknowledging where you're at and what you want, I'm at a place where I don't feel I have a ton of highly motivating people in my life in Vancouver that are like pulling me up, and I would love to have that. So that's my statement, that's my wish, that's my manifestation, that's my prayer to the waffle gods. And I guess I invite in my tribe, and I suppose I'd have to give up on my lone tribe, because that's just me. Maybe I keep that as a private club for later. Maybe not, I don't know. Anyway, super ramble today, and that's possibly it, and that is possibly all. But yeah, what a, I guess, ending in gratitude. What a great day. I'm just so happy that I had the opportunity to go there, if you will, and like just address myself and like step forward as my true self instead of my filtered self. As much as I call this fucking Byron Unfiltered, I'm still a filtered as fuck person, and lots of internal debates about that, about like how far unfiltered to go and for what purpose and what's it serving and is it effective or ineffective and all that kind of stuff. So lots of thought on that, but it doesn't matter because this is way more unfiltered than I've ever been in my life. Fuck, this would have been so terrifying like 141 days ago when I did my first live. Like, imagine jumping on and fucking putting yourself out to the world and just speaking your mind on thoughts that you haven't had figured out yet. When we live in an age of social media where like everything is like curated and perfect, and like everything looks happy and everything's always good. It's a little bit crazy. So I guess this is counterculture. I don't know, I always seem to have that, like the punk rock side of it, or the like, what's another word? I guess the protesting side of it, or the activist side of it is like, honestly, I believe this process to be consciousness activism, as I've name dropped many times before, and I own the domain name. Consciousness activism is going against the grain because the grain is taking us into further stupidity and narcissicity. I'm making up words. You know what I mean? So to go against the grain and be like, hey, all these things that we've all known and we're all doing, I don't believe are working. So let's try something new. And I might fuck up and I don't know. So far, I haven't regretted anything that I've said on my live videos, which is also unbelievable to me 141 days ago. Anyway, Marcus found a dog party. He always gets people always go for his collar. It really pisses me off, and they bite on it and it leaves bite marks on him. So I gotta go sort this out. Marcus! So that's it. That's all for me. Peace.